I'm just going to say it like this. Black people right now, we are speechless, but we are not shocked. Not really that surprised, but we are speechless. I mean, we're just looking at the TV like, really? Like, okay, so when black people hear that they're storming the Capitol, everyone ran to their TV, they ran to their phone, they pull up their media source or whatever it is, praying the same thing. Please don't be black. Please don't be black. Please don't be black. And they weren't black at all. That was what was surprising. But then once we found out that they weren't black, then we started looking at things like, well, what's going on? Because, you look at things on the surface level and you might think, oh, these people are upset. Oh, they did this. Black people are asking how? How? Like, I'm just going to say this. It's been 4 days. If those people had been any other color, they would still be washing up that blood off those steps. I mean, what do these people, what do they expect? They shot a woman in the neck and she died. And people are surprised. That's what's shocking. People are surprised. Black people know you cannot get that close to rich, white, important people and not expect some bloodshed. It doesn't happen. They are messing with everybody's sense of security because you don't get that close to rich, white, important people without bodies hitting the floor. A lot of them. A lot of bullets and a lot of blood. That's how these things happen. So everybody is kind of wondering, how did these people get that close? Like a mob of people. This wasn't just going on a tour of the building. This was a mob of people. They were angry, visibly, not listening to the police at all. And they got really, really close to a lot of really, really rich, really, really important, really, really white people. It's messing with everyone's sense of security that knows that doesn't happen. So how? So many videos bringing up so many questions, and I'll probably get canceled before I even start, but I'm going to say it. What you are witnessing right now, the worst breakup of 2021, people thought was going to be Kim and Kanye. It's not. It's white supremacy and the police. You saw it unfolding. These Proud Boys, they thought they owned everything. The police, white supremacy, they were in bed together. They always have been. But something happened. And I think what we're seeing right now is they are proving how soft the police really are without the support of the white supremacy. I think what you saw was how the police might be left stranded once white supremacy stops backing them. They were scared. They were soft, fragile. I mean, it was some sort of inside job. Somebody knew things because, it's pretty obvious that this shit was very orchestrated and planned, but I think that's part that's making people really uncomfortable is what they exposed was possibly how fragile the police really are when they don't have white supremacy really running shit. And that makes a lot of people uncomfortable, scared. They didn't just scare the people in that building getting that close to those people. They scared a lot of people that believe that shit won't happen. And another thing, as a black person, seeing all this shit going down, we've been dealing with people getting upset at people wanting to point out the fact that black people are getting killed in the streets by the police abusing their power forever. In using the term Black Lives Matter, which, by the way, is a slogan. So I'm just saying, I was going to say this. Black people are not rejoicing in the death of that police officer. Black people, we are protesting, not just black people, everybody protesting the senseless deaths going on in the streets at the hands of police and other people in positions of power. They are not rejoicing in the death of this police officer. That is a senseless death. He was a man, just like any other man who has a family, loved ones, and he died a senseless death. It didn't have to happen. So don't for a minute think that black people are rejoicing in the death of that police officer. Another thing I noticed, regardless of where you think this stuff is really coming from, all this mayhem, who group is responsible for, one thing I noticed is they're sending up their women first. I don't know if that's a plan to make them look not so dangerous when you send the women first to approach the police or the people on the front line, but I'm noticing they send their women up first and they follow heavy. But you'll see the women up first. I've seen a lot of pictures of women approaching the police officers first. And sometimes they get in some altercations. They get harassed, they even get hit. And I don't know if it's their own doing. I don't know if they're volunteering. I don't know if they're just doing that, but it seems to me that they're sending their women up first, almost as like a shield or like a false flag for what's really coming right behind it. I don't know, it's something I noticed, but I just feel like I had to come out here and say this shit because there's a lot of miscommunication out there. This has really changed shit. And right now we got to ask ourselves, who's writing history? Who is writing history? What are the history books going to say when they reflect and report on this time in history? So I think it's important to share the things that we see and the things that we think, just so that, just in case, well, as we see in history, they definitely get it very fucking wrong sometimes.